Archsaint.
Righteous ponage. Greetings to thee, Archsaint here, and recently I picked up Pillars of Eternity on a Steam sale, and just wanted to give some first impressions about what I think, namely about the character creation and what have you, because this is very similar to Baldur's Gate, but it's not the same. So I've yet to play the game. I just got to the character creator, and I thought there's some things I'd probably like to say about it. I noticed that it starts you off on easy here. It's like that's the default. I'm not sure why, but just do normal, because I think normal is the way that the game is intended to be played. That's how I always take it. So there's some other expert mode and trial of iron. That's your Iron Man thing. You get one save. I never really go for that type of play. Yeah, so we'll just do normal. We get this intro video here, and there's also a little, it's not like a cinematic, but there's artwork and there's dialogue right after this, and then you go into the character creator, which I guess I kind of find weird, because it talks about your character in this little dialogue thing here, but you don't even know who your character is.
5 wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night.
Yeah, I'll just skip that for now. It basically says you fall sick, you're ill, and then it jumps here to your character creator. Which I think this should be first, and then the story, because you're going to forget that little story dialogue before you even get done creating all this. Because there's a lot to the character creation. I could spend like an hour on my character. Fairly important. Anyway, so you got your standard male, female. I noticed with the females, it says a woman's role in Yora. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. There's probably going to be a few things I'm not sure if I'm saying correctly. But a woman's role in Yora is largely dependent on where she is from. In the Ader Empire, Vylian republics, and the Direwood, women occupy many domestic, educational, and organizational roles. They are the primary hunters, soldiers, and leaders of the tribes of Nasitak in Ir Glanfath and Zamatul. Women and men have more fluid social roles in all societies. There are exceptions to the rule, and women can be found in a wide variety of stations and professions. I just think it's interesting that the one that they kind of highlight is the Nasitak, where they're the hunters, soldiers, and leaders of the tribes. And just nowadays they try to put females in like very manly roles, very masculine type things, which kind of gets old after a while. So it's just interesting that they're highlighted here as that. And for the male, kind of the same thing. Places them at the forefront of military politics, heavy labor. Among the tribes of the Nasitak, men perform many of the homesteading and organizational duties. So I guess the Nasitak are kind of like the Drow, where the society is very backwards, where the men are the ones doing more of the roles intended for females, like caring for the home and so forth. Just interesting. And you know what? This is a fantasy world, if that's how it is, and that's how it is. But I play males. I don't play females, just because I kind of find that weird. I find it really weird when guys want to play females all the time. Let me see. Okay, yeah, humans. You got your standard humans. Commonly called folk, I found that kind of weird. Humans, commonly called folk, are the most common race in Direwood and the Adir Empire, Old Valia, and the Valian Republics, though not as large as the towering Almoa. Almoa? You really need. You should be able to click on stuff and have it pronunciated for you. Humans are well known for their strength and willpower. So for D&D, you got your strength, your dex, your constitution, your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. So this switches it up a bit. I'm guessing might equals strength, but when I hovered over it, it represents the physical and spiritual strength. And so might isn't just for your physical, muscle. It's also your spiritual strength. So brute force, as well as their ability to channel powerful magic. So might also affects magic. I don't like that. Can be used for intimidating during interactions. And then finally it says, in combat it contributes to both damage and healing, as well as the fortitude defense. And so I don't know if that's the healing skill, like you're healing other people, or if that's just how well you heal because you have so much might. Seems like they're blending might with constitution, but they're also blending it with like willpower and charisma. I don't like how they did might in this, like right off the bat. It's like a no-go for me. Resolve, I think they got this one. I mean, as far as the word is concerned, pretty good. Leadership, concentration, okay, yeah. It's a so-so stat, but okay, humans get a +1 to resolve and might. You got these guys. The Amoa, they're kind of like, you notice a height difference, they're kind of like giant people, the giant race of the game. The mighty Aomoa are the largest of the Kith races. Like, what's a Kith race? The largest of the Kith races, and are commonly found in or near oceans. Though not truly aquatic, they have some affinity for water, and many of their civilizations, such as the Rawatai, are based on naval dominance. They are known for their unparalleled strength, so they get a might +2. I'm not sure why they're assumed to be aquatic. Can they breathe underwater? I mean, I don't know. And so is a Kith race anything that's not human? And it's really weird for the folk thing, because humans are called folk, but in like D&D Pathfinder, you got folk you got lizard folk, you got cat folk, and so folk is just kind of like a general term for people. And so to limit that to humans, I don't really like. It's almost like they wanted to get rid of the name human and instead call them folk instead. I don't know why they didn't just do that. Because if you look at the sub-races of human, savanna folk, ocean folk, metal folk, so I guess ocean folk are your darker skinned humans. Meadow and savanna have very similar skin tones. I don't know, is one Asian? That one wouldn't be Asian because of the hair, so maybe the meadow folk are, your Shem, Ham, and Japheth things. I do like that they have sub-races for humans, though. I think they have sub-races for every race. But usually humans are just bland humans, and then you got your elves, you got your wood elf, your ocean elf, and all that other stuff. So it's really cool that they added sub-races for humans. Yeah, your Moawa. You got your dwarves, and yeah, I just don't like playing short people. I don't know. It's just me. I mean, maybe if I was really short, or if I was like a midget or something in real life. I don't know if that's like insulting to call little people midgets. I would think it would be insulting to call them little people. But I don't really know any people that are that short in real life, so I'm not sure what's insulting and not. So any little people or midgets listening to this, I apologize. But yeah, you got your dwarfs, which, you know, they're the... I'm surprised it doesn't say anything about mountains. The most well-traveled race? Really? Really? The most well-traveled race with, like, legs that short? They get around, huh? Okay. Okay, so dexterity is right on as far as the attribute goes. Dexterity is an extraction of the character's hand-eye coordination, balance, overall grace, sleight of hand, fast reactions, action speed with attack spells, and, you know, reflex. That's spot on for dexterity. I don't like the might. It's like they wanted to use might for every single thing. Like if you're a warrior, you use might. If you're a caster, you use might. I don't like that. Like, this is like the damage stat. So no matter what class you pick, it's almost like you need might, as far as I can tell. Not 100% sure on that. What's Constitution? They screw that up. Might is also kind of seems partially for Constitution, because you got your Fortitude defense. What the juice? Alright, Constitution is a combination of the character's overall health and stamina. Makes sense, although it is not used much in interactions. It is sometimes checked to withstand pain or endurance, a physically taxing ordeal. In combat, it affects maximum health and endurance and contributes to the Fortitude defense. Oh, okay, so might also contributes to it. And so does Constitution. Constitution seems good as far as what it does. Weird. Anyway, so yeah, dwarves. You got your elf. I long for a game, and this is just me, but I long for a fantasy game that has 100% complete original races without using humans, dwarves, and elves, and just completely, because you got the Orlan, the godlike, and the Umawa. Man, I suck at pronouncing it. Anyway, these are like 3 original ones here. Actually, I think godlike was used before in like a D&D. That's like your tiefling. That's like a demonic type race, and then you got your Aasimar, right? Because your Aasimar are the more heavenly typed peoples. So yeah, that's what a godlike would basically be. It would equate to one of those 2 races. But anyway, the elf. That was the dominant race. They're the dominant race in your clan path, and the white that wens and are extremely common in Direwood and you'd think they would be in Direwood. Elves are known for their speed and intelligence, as well as a commonly isolationist nature. Okay, so they get a +1 to dexterity and perception. I guess there's not intelligence, because they would have got a plus to that. So does perception replace intelligence? Perception, I already read it. It's pretty much what perception is. It's pretty much spot on. Just the might I'm not liking. We got the Orlan. These are like, I guess, your halflings. See, you can see the size compared to what the juice. It's got like black eyes. Oh no, that's just me, I guess. Okay, so Orlan are slightly smaller than the dwarfs. Orlans are the smallest of the Kith races. Again, I don't know what a Kith race is, but though many cultures don't consider them to be civilized at all, also notable for their large ears, two-toned skin, and hirsute bodies. Kind of like a furry. I don't know if they got furry feet or not. Paladins are commonly found in Glanfath and the plains and part of the Direwood. They are known for their mental tensity and sharp senses. Yeah, so they're tiny, so they get negative and their might. Very, very perceptive. With giant ears, I would assume they would be perceptive. Then you got your godlike. And I backed out. The one that they start you off with is this. This is the first godlike you see in the game. And I was like, what the juice? The godlike are children of the Kith, civilized races. So does Kith mean civilized? What? Sorry, I don't know I have no idea what the word Kith means. In the dictionary for this game. Anyway, who have been blessed with physical aspects associated with the gods, though some do not consider it a blessing. These aspects may take many forms and often come with mystical powers. Aberrant head shapes are typical, and godlike are unable to wear protective headgear as it is near impossible to find anything that fits because of their unusual nature and their inability to reproduce. Godlike are often viewed with fear and wonder. So they get a +1 to dexterity and intellect. Well, would an intellect be intelligence? Intellect represents a character's logic and reasoning capabilities. In interactions, it can be useful for deduction, sudden realizations, and problem solving. In combat, it contributes to the will defense and influences duration and areas of effect for all abilities and talents. This is what the elf people should get. They're known for their speed and intelligence. Why don't they get a +1 to their intellect? What's the deal with that? Anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yeah, so a negative to playing a godlike is you can't wear a helmet, I guess. And I guess you could kind of see why, because they got like horns and stuff. But even so, you could easily make a helmet to fit this head. I mean, look, you could just shape it in such a way as it could cover easily the back part of the head, and then probably like this part right here would just go right over that. It wouldn't be as good as other helmets, but you could still do a helmet for that. This would probably be the hardest one to do, from what I've seen. You go to this one, Death God. Like, you could totally put a helmet on that. Again, it would be kind of a bad helmet, but you could make, holes for the horns and stuff. Thousand Moon, Fire one, kind of the same thing. Or it could wear like a headband, like a metal headband or something. Like the Fire one kind of looks like a devil. Nature. Okay, well, for the nature one, it's probably a little difficult to do. You got bark spikes coming out everywhere. That might be hard to do. So, okay, I'll give you the no helmet for these guys, but the rest of them, I think you could fashion something. These guys are weird. They got like, it's like they're shrouded in. I don't intend to read everything in here, but strange growths cover their eyes, or in some cases entire face, giving them a sinister appearance. Yeah, it's kind of sinister. I don't know why all the godlike people have to have horns, so that to me is kind of weird. Like, why not just like flaming hair, like the Asmar? I don't know, it's kind of a weird decision, design decision, but yeah. So to show you the sub-races, again, I'm not sure why these are considered aquatic creatures. Maybe their skin kind of looks oily. Coastal, no, that definitely looks like an aquatic type race, mainly because the skin's blue. But other than that, I don't really I'm not seeing any gills or anything on like their neck or nothing. It's weird. Another thing I'll notice is, or would like to mention, is that all of the races have your basic 2 arms, 2 legs. You know, there's no 4 arms or 4-legged or energy type race where their body's energy or mist or anything kind of that would really set them apart from your standard. They're just your basic. You take the humanoid form and you slightly tweak it. You know, that's what all this is. And so, you know what? I just need to be hired as a creative director on a project. Anyway, yeah, different type of dwarves. What do we got here? Mountain dwarf. Oh, that makes sense. And your boreal dwarf. Fantastic. What kind of elves you got? You got your pale elf, which, why are they called pale elves? They don't look pale, they look green. Don't their skin look green? Or is it because of their hair? Shouldn't they be the white hair elves? White-haired elves. Why are they called pale elves? Well, they have, okay, resistance to fire and ice damage. Damage reduction, okay. Wood elves. Advantage. Oh, okay. They got like a range? They got like a range bonus, so if you're farther away from them, then they can easily hit. I guess if you want to play an archer, hey, play wood elf. That makes sense. Yar. Orlin? Hearth Orland. Or Orlin. I put a D on there. Yeah, this one, which kind of looks like you would think that's like tree bark or something, but I think that's just hair. Oh, a few genetic differences have appeared, most notably the lack of facial hair. The lack of facial hair? I see facial hair. Hold on. Oh, okay. These guys don't have facial hair. I see. Okay, that's the difference. Okay. They're not often seen. Okay, jolly good. So that's that with the races. Just some thoughts I had quickly, and I was like, I need to make a video. Oh, another thing I want to say is, so you got that story part, which I think you're going to forget by the time you're done with all this, unless you got a decent memory. So you got that, I think, out of order. That should be after the character creation. And then you got your appearance, like last right here. When you got weird looking races like the godlike, that needs to be like right after you choose your race, because if I'm like, okay, well, I'll play a godlike, I'll play a moon godlike, because, you know, Silvertide, that's cool, right? And then I get to appearance, and I find out I'm stuck with, you know, something I don't like. I'm going to have to go all the way back over here to race, and I don't know if the rest of this is saved for you. I'm guessing it wouldn't be, because the attributes bonus and everything. So I might have to do all this again. And I mean, you could argue that in Baldur's Gate the appearance thing came last also, but in Baldur's Gate you pretty much had a standard model for your character. All you changed was the skin color, the hair color, and the color of your starting clothes. So it didn't really matter that much as far as your appearance goes. But in this game, I mean, look, you got all these different weird looks you can have, so it's kind of more important. I think the appearance should be right after race. So anyway, oh, by the way, I'm not intending to do a let's play of this game, just because I hear that there's a whole lot of reading to be done, and I don't really have the best voice to be listening to as far as reading books to you, so yeah, so I don't intend to do a Let's Play this. But I do intend to give this a shot. I mean, I picked it up. I would probably go with, because I'm going to make a paladin. I'm going to try to make a paladin. I'll play human. I like the metal folk. Fighting spirit, well, that kind of seems... Oh, they all got fighting spirit. Really? They all got fighting spirit? That kind of sucks. Okay, so they come from different places, but they got the same bonus? Shouldn't the ocean folk get something more... more bonus, more towards like being near the ocean areas or something? That's kind of lame. So, different backstory, same bonus. I wonder if that's the same with these fellas. Armed to the teeth. Oh no, these guys got something different. Towering physique, coastal, Almoa. Gain bonuses to defend against prone and stun effects. These guys, armed to the teeth, all island, Almoa, gain an additional weapon slot. So the background for the Almoa, the subraces are different bonuses, but not for the humans. Hunter's instinct, hale and hardy. I think the humans might have got shafted on that. Distance advantage, elemental. Yep. Man, gotta say that's pretty lame. Of course, I would understand the godlike being completely different. It's like you got a death thing, a fire thing, battle for, yeah. Wow, the humans got shafted on that. Can't believe that. Subrace. Farfignugan. I was thinking this game is really making humans their own unique thing. Well, they took a step farther than most games do, so yeah, anyway. Okay, class. Male Meadowfolk. What you got here? Barbarian Paladin. That's what I would go. Oh, they start you off with a chest plate. Interesting. What's this? I'll look at the other things real quick. Barbarian. Dual wielding. That's okay. Chanter. Chanter is one of the new ones. A Chanter and a Cipher are the classes that they created. I'm not really sure what they're all about. It's a big sword. Priest. That's typical priest gear. I don't know why that became a thing with priests. They use a mace and a shield, but that's kind of the thing. Ranger. Yep. Your bow. I don't know where your quiver is though. Rogue. Dual daggers. Druid. I don't really know if that's very druid-like. Scimitar, okay, but buckler. Your fighter. Wizard. Oh, you can actually carry books in your hand. That's cool. I wonder if he opens the book during combat. I can see like a slit in the book. I'm almost guaranteed it opens during combat. That's really cool. And you got your monk. Oh, your monk is just a wizard without stuff. That's interesting. Huh. Could at least gave him some hand wraps or something. Can they fight with weapons? Oh, okay. Transcendent suffering. When monks have no weapons equipped. Okay, so they can use weapons. Their unarmed attacks are exceptionally powerful and continue to increase in damage as they gain levels. That's cool. That's like a standard monk. As monks are damaged, their pain generates wounds. Wounds can be used to power many of the monk's special abilities. So, when they take wounds, that lets them use special abilities? That's kind of weird. there is survival. Well, I'll just save that for when I get to attributes. But yeah, I like that the paladin starts off with that plate. That's cool, man. Fighter gets a chain. Yep, chain shirt. Cipher. So ciphers are weird. Like, what are recent discovery in the Eastern Reach? Ciphers were once called the Brishalgwyn Mind Hunters by the Glanfadins. Ciphers have the ability to directly contact and manipulate another person's soul and psyche, using an ally's or enemy's essence as the focus of their magic. But most ciphers are still found in the Eastern Reach. Practitioners of the techniques have spread throughout the known world. They are gaining acceptance over time, but are generally distrusted, especially by the uneducated. Powers. Ciphers can directly target allies and enemies with powerful soul-focused effects. These powers cost focus, which ciphers build through the use of their soul whip. That's kind of cool, soul whip. I still don't really understand how they use this ability. Are they psionics? Do they use psi energy? Is that interesting though. Mechanics. That's a thing. Okay, that's for traps and stuff like that. Okay, well, what's a chanter then? Dude, that's like a halberd hammer thing. In every culture across Eora, there are chanters. Many historians consider chanters to be the most ancient workers of magic. Their hallowed phrases stirring one's collective memory of wayward souls around them, compelling them to generate magical effects in a kind of reenactment. In some societies, chanters form organized groups of storytellers and researchers, but in most parts of the world they are just a time-honored part of local folk traditions. Folk traditions. So is that only human traditions? Starting abilities. Chants can continuously speak chants made up of magical phrases. Chants produce passive effects and help build a chanter's power until they can use an evocation. So are they like, are they kind of like bards then? Yeah, I think they are probably like bards. Yeah, storytellers. Okay. Okay, so your chanter is a bard. But I don't know if they're more magic based. Yeah, see, they even aid their allies. Okay, well, interesting. I wonder if they were afraid to use musical instruments with the chanter. I'd be like, it's a bard. I'm already calling it a bard. So here, barbarians. Carnage starting ability. That's cool. Starting ability, sneak attack for the rogue. That makes sense. And you can apply things. It's just like the Unchained Rogue, I think. That's cool. I wonder how stealth works in this game. I wonder if you go invisible. Priest. Holy Radiance. Generates a modest amount of endurance for allies around the priest. Any enemy vessels caught in the area take burn damage and may be frightened. So this is your channel energy. Or quote undead, turn undead, quote unquote. Holy Radiance. Over the course of the game, the power of this ability may shift based on the reputations the priest gains relative to the behaviors that are preferred by his or her deity. That's like influence to your, okay. That's interesting. Priests have access to a variety of support and some offensive-oriented spells. Every 2 levels, priests automatically gain access to an additional set of spells. Initially, their spells can be cast a number of times per rest. Priest replace power that we did. Okay, yeah. Okay. Yeah, kind of interesting. Does Paladin get lay on hands or anything? They start with faith and conviction. Paladins have an inherent bonus to all of their defenses. Over the course of the game, the value of this bonus may be shifted based on the reputations the paladin gains relative to the behaviors that are preferred by his or her order. That's interesting. So a paladin has an order, the priest has deity. That kind of makes me wonder how they define a paladin. Paladins are martial zealots devoted to a god a ruler, or even a way of life. To me, a paladin is like a holy warrior. As far as fantasy goes, that's pretty much where I stop. If you're a zealot devoted to a ruler, you're more like a samurai. If you're devoted to like a way of life, that's more of a monk. That's kind of my distinction as far as warriors go. I especially hate the 5th edition of D&D, where a paladin is simply a champion of any god. So you could be an evil paladin. I hate that. That's me nitpicking, but that's just how it goes. They can be found in any culture where a fanatical group of like-minded individuals have formed a warrior society dedicated to advancing their cause. That sounds like a lot of stuff could be considered a paladin then. Like-minded individuals just coming together to form a society to advance their cause. That could be like any guild of warriors. That could be like a fighting guild. Anyway, among those aligned to their worldview, paladins are viewed with respect and admiration. If a bit of fear, many paladins hold leadership positions in armies and mercenary companies. What? But in the heat of battle, their fanaticism often overrules the chain of command and common sense. Is that like lawful stupid? Is that what they're saying? Faith and conviction. You know what, if I play a paladin, I might not even get any like holy spells, or miracles rather. That kind of sucks. These are just like knights. They should have just called this a knight, because it's not so much as a paladin to me in the fantasy sense. Kind of disappointing. Right off the bat, I would probably rather go priest. I mean, at least in Dark Souls, when you played a knight, you could get miracles, right? So you could. I was role-playing a paladin. That. Of course, I don't really know how that works. Can any class cast spells? Like if I play a barbarian, am I blocked from like druid spells or wizard spells? Or I'm not really sure how that works. Maybe I'll just go paladin. Just choke it up here. Let me see. Oh, okay. There's sub. Oh, okay. You pick the order for the class, or the order for the paladin rather. Bleak Walkers. Dedicated to warfare. Wait, what? Bleak Walkers are soldiers dedicated to conducting warfare mercilessly, with extreme brutality, in order to bring a swift end to conflicts. Because they are renowned for their terrible and unyielding nature, most nobles will only call on them as a last resort. The Bleak Walkers' behavior reinforces cruelty, because the quickest resolution to a battle is one in which the Bleak Walkers' arrival is announced and a surrender immediately follows, to ensure that, wow, these guys are like epic warriors. Sure that people understand that no mercy will be given by Bleak Walkers. Bleak Walker, that's a weird name. They never give quarter under any circumstances. So I wonder if that would have kind of like role-playing repercussions. Like if you kind of have to be one-track minded, I guess, if you're playing this. Favored dispositions, cruel, aggressive, disfavored, benevolent, diplomatic. These don't even seem like paladins. This doesn't seem like a paladin, man. it's not like a, I mean, if you want to call a paladin a soldier, I mean, okay, I wouldn't use that for a paladin, but if it said they were mercilessly, going after evil and demonic creatures and things of that nature, then I'd be like, oh yeah, that fits a paladin. But this is just like a mercenary, like a barbaric, unyielding fighter. So let's see. I don't know if I'm going to read all of these, but I can browse over them real quick. Renowned for their wit and love of life, the dark, cozy paladin. Protector have transformed into the protectors and ambassadors of the immense Darkosi family. Let's see if I can find one that actually seems like a paladin here. The order of mercenary paladins who sell themselves for all sorts of defensive and offensive engagements. Gold Pack Knights. The Gold Pack Knight believes payment forms a binding contract. They are known for being non-judgmental, professional, and impressively merciless. Paladins are all about judging, man. Gold Pack Knights. This should be in like the fighter or the yeah. Okay, the most widespread paladin order. Okay, here we go. The kind wayfarers are guides to protectors for travelers. Also people of which it means traveling in dangerous areas. It's kind of like a crusade thing. Crusader that would protect like pilgrims going to the Holy Land, I'm guessing. Kind of reflects noble prestige of other paladin orders, but are widely respected by commoners for their generosity and compassion. Kind wayfarers lack a centralized structure, and many members operate independently. The order is known for not being wealthy in recent years. They've improved their finances via cartography and working with groups. That would make sense if you're traveling. Like the hand... Wait, whoa. And working with groups like the Hand Occult to develop travel guides for little-known parts of Eora. So a paladin is working with the Hand Occult. That just sounds evil. What the juice? Shield bearers of Saint Elga. Elga, or is that Elkga? Is that an E or a C? I think it's a C. Weird. Okay. During a peace negotiation, an archer from the kingdom of Adir shot the noblewoman emissary of Kolkin, Elkga, in the arm, provoking battle. Okay. Elkga nevertheless made a second attempt at negotiation, accompanied by 3 elven knights, whose only arms were shields they held in front, and Elkga to protect her. Succeeded atop the Empire. The knights who protected her founded the shield bearers of Saint Elkga, who continued to act as guardians and diplomats in Adir and beyond. They are well known for their honesty and skill in negotiations. Huh. So not one of these paladin orders is a group of paladins dedicated to smiting evil, and they're not dedicated to the service of a god. So I really would have no idea what to pick. The kind wayfarers, at least they're generous, and they're against deceptive and cruelty, so I guess that would be Gold Pack Knights. They just sound like they're greedy. Gold Pack Knights. What the juice? And they're against passion? Being passionate? These guys are like samurai trying to defend a... Wait, oh, I just saw that paladini. That's weird. Kind wayfarers, I think, is the closest to a paladin. I'm sorry, I'm curious now. What are fighter orders? Oh, there are no fighter orders. Not, you just get 2 abilities. Huh. Well, what does Wizard get? Wizard doesn't have like a school. I guess Wizard just chooses spells. Pretty sure Wizard has to rest to get him back to see if I can find that. At least I know a priest has to rest to get back. Actually, let me see. Priest of... Okay, I guess these are the deities. Just briefly go, called Barath, god of cycles, of doors, and of life, and of death itself. Portals. Okay. Eothas, name for the god of light, redemption, and rebirth. Well, that sounds a little bit more like a Christian thing. A worship of Eothas is still popular. All faith is outlawed in most cities of Direwood. Christian persecution. Due to events of the Saints' War. Oh, that kind of sounds like a crusade type thing. That's supposed to become Olympus. Attempted to invade Direwood before being destroyed at the gates of Helgot's citadel. Eothas has not been heard from since and is presumed dead by most. Oh, people think this is a dead god. Which is primarily because some person claiming to be a living vessel was killed in the Saints' War. So I don't even think I'd pick that. That sounds bad. Magrin, goddess of war and fire. Faithful are rank and file soldiers as well as officers. Weapons and armor. Okay, so it's like smiths. The priests view battle and warfare as inevitable human activities that should be pursued with single-minded efficiency. Consequently, she is not a goddess of battle. Monsters, operations, missions. Okay, so it's like, as far as killing and conquest goes, just embrace it. Don't go for peace or anything. It's like embrace sin, I guess. Skaen, known also as the Quiet Slave. So this is a god that's known as the Quiet Slave. That doesn't sound like a god I'd worship. He's a god of secret hatred, resentment, and violent rebellion. This has got to be an evil god then. He's depicted as a small, bald man covered in lash scars whose ears and nose have been cut off. He appears outwardly submissive with downcast eyes. However, his eyes glitter back with quiet hatred, and his fist is clenched. He is known to manifest in a horrific incarnation known as the effigy to followers desperate enough to perform certain unspeakable rites. Direward Skaen's faithful often doubles torturers and executioners, delighting in the fall of high-status prisoners. Wow, this is like the god of torture and stuff. Weird. Whale is the god of dreams, secrets, mysteries, and revelations. Name's a whale. There's a Wael. Well, there's no determinate gender or consistent appearance. Its symbol is the eye. Ooh. Though the look and number of the eyes often change. Oh, the number of the eyes. Oh, okay, so multiple eyes. It's not like the Lord of the Rings evil eye thing. It's like the devil. People pray to Whale both to protect their secrets and to unravel followers of... So basically, if I had to pick one, of course this is the priest deity, But I would go with Eothas. And I know a lot of people would probably hate me because of it. I would be like, look, that Saints War thing was all... That was the Catholic Church, okay? Christians never took up the sword and terrorized or killed people in the name of their faith, because that's forbidden in Scripture. And so that's a whole... I think that's a play on the Crusades. That's just me. So yeah, I would go that route if I was playing a priest. Because at least it seems like, I mean, light, redemption, rebirth. Of course, rebirth is kind of like, maybe that's like reincarnation. I would probably roleplay that as like being born again. Because you must be born again. But you know what's interesting in these fantasy games, even in science fiction, is that the creators of these games, they never have the option, or at least not that I can think of off the bat, as to where one of your choices is considered by the faithful or the followers to be the only true God. And so, I mean, that's Christianity. We believe in the true and living God. And so yeah, there's a lot of gods out there. Even the Bible talks about gods, lowercase g, but they're not really gods. They're fallen angelic beings posing as beings of great power. And so there's really only one true and living God, and that's the God that we worship. There's never an option like that where, like, Magrin would be like, all these other gods they're fake. I'm the real one. And like, even in a fantasy sense, there's never a Christian, I guess, representation. Or if there is, I haven't really encountered it. It's all like, this is the god of the ocean, this is the god of the forest, this is the god... It's all very pagan. And lost people are still very pagan in their mindset, even if they claim to be an atheist in their fantasy and whatnot that they enjoy. They are very pagan in their thoughts. Anyway, I don't know how I got on that rant. But yeah, okay, so let's do Paladin. Let's do the kind wayfarers. At least then I'll be liked in the world because of that. So Paladin abilities. Oh, lay on hands. Okay, cool. I do get Paladin type abilities. Fueled solely by belief, the Paladin is able to heal with the touch of his or her hands, recovering a substantial amount of endurance for the Paladin or an ally within range. Cool. Flames of Devotion. Calls upon the Paladin's inner fire, causing their equipped weapon to burst into flames and adding burn damage to their next attacks. That's cool. Flaming swords and stuff. Again, I would like to ask the question, if you are a Paladin of one of those orders, where are you getting this ability to heal? Where is the source of your power to lay your hands on the wounded and sick and heal them? And where are you getting the power to, ignite your weapon into flames? What is your power source? A Paladin's power source is his god. Are you guys just like thinking really hard, and that's what willpower? It complicates things, and it makes it harder for me to roleplay. That's why I have to get rid of so much stuff in games, because like, oh man, they screw things up. Anyway, okay, so that's what you get. Paladin abilities, sure. So now we're at male, metafolk, Paladin, kind of wayfarers. Cool. Now we're at the attributes section, so I can look at all the attributes. Okay, it's doing a point-buy system. That's cool. I'm used to that. So again, strength, dexterity, constitution, perception, and intellect are fairly similar. I guess you could make a difference. You could argue that they're a bit different, but what seems to be missing here is wisdom. I guess perception could be kind of wisdom, but perception, you can be perceptive but unwise. Now this is going to spark debate. There's people that have argued for years over what is wisdom, what is intelligence, what is charisma, and they kind of bleed over in some areas. But resolve just seems like it shouldn't even be here. Resolve should be part of your constitution. And I know you could argue like you could be pretty hardy, but you know, don't have the drive to go on. And I know you could argue that, but okay, so the stars are for your class. So it kind of outright tells you if you're a paladin, you might want to pick these things. But I remember watching a video on the creator where I forget the guy's name, but he's like, you can pretty much pick whatever you want, and the game will make it work for you. Like if I wanted to dump everything into perception, then can I go down? I guess I can. But then yeah, I guess the game will do something to where you can actually be effective just being very perceptive, which kind of works, but I kind of don't like that. Because then that essentially means it doesn't matter what you pick. It just kind of changes your playstyle a bit. So I'm not sure if that's true. I guess I'll find that out. But okay, so I got 15 might. Sounds like a good thing. Do you eventually get a +2, or I mean a +1 for every 2 points past 10? I do not. I think so. Okay, so I got 14. How does this calculate? 14 plus. Oh, okay, +1 for human. I see. See, senor. Go past 19. Okay. Well, I mean, for a paladin, might seems good because it's physical and spiritual strength. Let's see, 16. Endurance and health. That should be a beefy tank. Dex probably isn't that important for a paladin. Because I wear heavy armor, so of course I'm thinking about D&D. You can pass me. Yeah. Intelligence. Problem solving. Why is that for a paladin? Intelligence. I don't. Areas of effect, abilities, and talents. I don't know. That's recommended for a paladin, but this is highly recommended for a paladin. Oh. Oh yeah, leadership, performances, intimidation. Okay. We get that to take intelligence down. Oh, I don't want to do that. Okay, I guess this will be fine. There's no rerolls, so I guess you're stuck with your standard points. Attributes. Culture? Now you pick a culture. Okay. So... Okay. 80 dead... Okay. Oh, and that gives you another bonus based on your culture. So if cultures are for additional... Oh, it changes your... how you look, too. Interesting. Okay, so if your race gives you a bonus to your attributes, and your culture also gives you a bonus to your attributes, shouldn't culture be before you pick your attributes? Okay. To me, that makes sense. Because then once you go to your attributes, you should see all the bonuses. And I don't like the order of this. I really don't. Anyway, kind of a culture would I like to come from? I like the chess piece, the plate mail. Centered around the equator, tropical climate. Yeah. Deadfire Archipelagio. Archipelagic. See, a lot of time it's pronounced arch, but in the case of me, it's pronounced Archsaint. But I'm guessing this is Archipelago. See, this is why it would be horrible to listen to me play this, because I'd be reading. I'm not very well spoken as far as this goes. Anyway, consisting nation of Nasitag. Okay, Nasitag is that one culture that's like backwards, so I don't want to be from there. Hundreds of lawless pirate-infested islands. Of course, I could surely lay down some ponage in that area. It's home to the boreal dwarves, mix of other races, so it's not really for me. Imanato Plains. Oh, you start with an axe instead. Okay, the north, large expanse of fertile savannas that are farmed by human and Orland residents. So, oldest in the world culture spread out. Okay. I like the ones with resolve because that's really paladin-like. Old. Oh, you start off with a rapier. That's interesting. The crown jewel of the southern seas. Old Valia is now the crumbling remnants of an empire of warring merchant nations. Dwarves, among the races, old bear. Okay. Reckoning a proud, rich culture here. The Rauatai. Dominated by the Almoa nation of Rauatai. The Gulf itself is host to the nations, most of them. Almoa, Arland, Dwarven, these countries are well young. The Gulf is kind of riches, resources. So it's kind of cool. Oh, you start off with a hammer on that one. That's cool. This one you start with a mace. The Living Lands is the mountainous region of a large northern island renowned for its diversity of plant and animal life. Okay, so this is more like a nature type area. Druid, your rangers. And, so could you be a ranger? I forget if you could pick that. Its weather is unpredictable and ecosystems vary dramatically from valley to valley. Okay. The white that wends. The white that wends. That is actually the name of a land, the white that wends. A large cracked southern expansion of polar ice, the white that wends, is home to pale elves and small colonies during explorers' outcasts and adventures. While virtually no plant life grows in the white that wends, it is home to many hardy species of dangerous animals that forage from the sea or prey upon each other. So it would be kind of a good thing role-playing wise if I was a wayfarer in this Arctic zone, because it's kind of hard to navigate when you're in an Arctic land, and survive for that matter. But I guess I really like this. Oh man, that one has a spear? I didn't even notice that. Axe. I do like the two-hander. That's cool, but I kind of like going sword and board with my paladins. I think I'll go with this one. Plus you get a resolve. So, done. Background. Wow, there's a lot to your character. I like it. See, the background also gives you bonuses. Hot diggity, look at that. Should all be before attributes. You lived your life among nobility. So that's lore, colonist. That's your survival, drifter. No matter where you go, you just go, man. Dissident. You made a name for yourself as a troublemaker. Nope, I'm a paladin. Hunter. You live through the chase. Well, I mean, Hunter might work for a wayfarer. Labor. Your life has been spent studying your craft. No, that's more like a smith, mercenary. Blade and battle is your way of life. You solve your problems by pulling out your weapon and applying force, so that doesn't really fit. No compassion there. No mercy. You traded goods from all over the world, pairing items with buyers of all kinds. Clergymen. Piety and prayer are the cornerstones of your public life. You encourage the same others. That's cool. I could fit for a paladin. A slave. You've never known freedom. Shackles and chains have bound your existence, and someone has told you what to do your entire life. There are a lot of different characters in roleplay in this, which I really like. Or for this, I think I wouldn't have much of a public life because I'd be on the move a lot as a wayfarer. So I think hunter fits better. Yeah, let's go with that. Oh, and here we go to the appearance. Deer hunter. Well, are these portraits? There's 79 portraits to choose from. That's cool. Kind of looks like it pairs you with the current character you got going on. Oh yeah, this is very important. I need to check the facial hair. Dude, that's a manly beard. Check out that beard. Can I zoom in on that beard? No? Dude, that's another manly beard. I'm going to take one negative point off because of the epic manly beards that this game has. Hot diggity. I'm so tired of games not having beard options for your character. Male characters, obviously. Dude! Coolness. So, some man chops right there. I think I would probably go for a... This is more me in real life. I think my avatar is slightly exaggerated. let's do that. Hair color. Yeah, I would go black. White's kind of cool, but fantastic. I would go black. Even though black kind of looks brownish a little bit. Not really. Secondary. Okay, yeah, your primary, secondary, that's for your clothes, I think. Skin color looks okay. Head. Pick a different face. You only have 5 options for your head? That's kind of strange. No, this one looks okay, I guess. And your hair, 14. Yeah, the hair sucks. Shameful for a man to have long hair. I would probably go with this. Is there a bald option? My hair is also buzzed. It's not bald. It's not like my avatar. But yeah, I would probably go buzzed head. It's kind of more militant. Okay, cool. Wait, primary. What does that do? Oh, okay. Jolly good. Let me go white. Let's see if I can go white and red. Blood red. Doesn't really look like red though. What about me pants? They're not good for that. I don't know. You can tinker with this type of stuff for hours. I'll go away with that. Okay. Sure. Next. Okay, here's your voices. Why can you choose a female voice if you've picked a male character?
Yeah?
Yeah?
Watch and learn. Show him how it's done!
Oh, he's the smooth talker.
Easy does it. Hey there. Watch and learn.
They won't see me coming. Yes. Now I am the leader of the group. They won't see me coming.
Sneaky.
I'm here. I'm flattered.
Ah!
Yes? I'm flattered.
Stand together! Keeping quiet.
It's kind of paladin.
I've got this.
You better run!
Easy now.
Yes? Leading the way.
Oh, I'm open.
Ha!
Let's keep quiet.
I shall lead us to whispers and shadows.
Oh?
That's more like a mage type thing.
Watch and learn.
So I'm not gonna go through the female ones, because why would I do that?
Charge!
The better part of valor.
Yeah. Nobile. Noble. What's your name? Let me see. Well, if I was doing a Let's Play, I'd probably do Archsaint, but... So... Tyrus. That's a name I use for my paladins, Matthias Sotiris, which I forget what that translates to. One of them is, well, translates. Name origins, you know. One of them means salvation, and the other one means gift of God. And so that's why I choose those, because salvation is the gift of God, and it's free. And so I thought if I was going to play a paladin of the true and living God, which I always roleplay, I'd like a name kind of like that. You can go to behindthename.com, I think that's what it is. You can look at all the past historical stuffs, origins of names. Anyway, Matthias Sotiris, Maximus Decimus Meridius, Matthias Sotiris, level 1 paladin. Okay, and that's the character creation for Pillars of Eternity. So I know at least one person who expressed interest in this game to me, so hopefully that will be insightful. If you like this type of video where I just ramble on, let me know. If you don't mind pauses and between me thinking and stuff. If this is your cup of tea, let me know. Maybe I'll make more videos kind of aimed towards this in the future. Yeah, it's more it flows more naturally, I guess you could say. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. I don't know if you've played Pillars of Eternity or if you were thinking of it, but it does have a pretty in-depth character creator, and if I wasn't recording this, I probably would have actually taken a lot longer to come up with this. But this was pretty much just a nitpicking video about things I don't like. I usually highlight those more than the things I like. I don't know why, I just do that. I'm oriented that way. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and of course I can't really tell you if the game's good or if I like the game, because I'm going to be comparing this to Baldur's Gate. I still have to play some on my own. There's tons of reviews you could look up already, but those are just my thoughts on the character creator. So yep, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, especially if you made it all the way through. And until next time, may the Lord be with thee.